Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Software Engineer K here, and we've got some awesome stuff to go through. Today we're going to be touching on the marketplace currently being closed, along with a question I had on taxation with regards to NFTs, and then we're going to be focusing on some really great points covered by Jason Pizzino with his interview with Dan, the CEO. We had a lot of our speculation confirmed, as well as some new points to kind of take into consideration with moving forward, and we're going to be wrapping up with our daily price analysis of OMI. So without further ado, we'll go straight into Twitter. Now, the marketplace has been closed over the weekend whilst the developers worked on building out some more optimizations. And it did take them longer than an hour to deploy. It said that they'll be offline for an hour. And I just want to specify on that point that at the point of deployment, when they are deploying the changes, they have already made the changes to code. Literally, all it is a point of pressing a button. Now, a lot of people, they get extremely impatient, and the sense of entitlement kicks in again. And they start complaining that they said it was an hour, it's taken longer than an hour. At this point, it literally is just pressing a button for the developers. There are so many external dependencies when they're deploying. Their build agents are reliant on so many external third parties. If those third parties had an update in their applications that you are relying on, then that's going to slow you down. The build agents, they can fail for whatever reason, and they might just fail right at the end, so you have to start your deployment all over again. To be honest, an hour is not enough for a deployment on average. The case can be that everything works perfectly. You click the button and 20 minutes later you're all ready to go. But most of the time, you will get some kind of failures that aren't your fault. It's whoever you're depending on. But people who aren't software developers, engineers, they will not know this. They just think they said an hour, it should be an hour. But that's why I always go by the ideology that, under promise, over deliver. So I think, maybe it'll be best if they say we'll be back online in 6 hours from now on. And on the point of taxation, I have asked this question, and is basically to do with trading NFTs and profiting. So with cryptocurrencies, you actually have to pay tax at the point of trading, not at the point of when you withdraw from the platform, which a lot of people aren't actually aware of. And they really do need to be aware of this, because if you're in the UK HMRC, if you're in the US IRS, they will come for you eventually. Might not be this year, next year, it could be in 5 years time, and they will fine you and prosecute you for tax evasion if that's the case, because these exchanges, they are providing your data, the KYC data, to the government. So you guys definitely need to be aware of that. So I've just requested, if we have any guidance on how taxations will work once MTO is ready for VV. Will it be for every trade that we make in gems? So let's say I buy a resale Batman for 3,000 gems and sell it for 3,500. Am I now liable to pay tax on the profit of what the dollar value is of 500 gems? As capital gains, or is it only once I convert to OMI or fiat, or just how does it work? Because I think because it's such a new space, the tax guidance seems to be not quite refined yet. So I do want to protect myself just in case. And next, we want to touch on the interview with Jason Pizzino and Dan. So they covered some really good stuff. So firstly, I just wanted to go on the point of exchanges. Now, like always, I do implore you to watch the full interview, because there is some great stuff there. It's nearly an hour long, like the previous one we saw with Rhys, but it's worth watching the whole thing. I'm just going to touch on some key points and add in my thoughts to that. So first is on exchanges.
Our OMI holders, and even potential future OMI holders, that we are working with a number of exchanges right now beyond the 3 or 4 that we have at the moment, and we'll more than likely be announcing some of those exchanges, which are higher tier than the ones we're working with now, hoping that we'll be announcing at least 1 or 2 of those throughout May.
Okay, so you heard it from Dan. So we already heard from Rhys that we should be getting 3 to 4 new exchanges across the next 2 months. Now we've heard from Dan that we should be getting 1 to 2 this month. So that correlates really well together. It's all really consistent. And he said it's a higher tier exchange. So that implies to me that it is something that is more mainstream than what we currently have. So the question is, which exchange could it be? Well, leave your suggestions in the comments below. I will have a look, but I've already speculated that KuCoin is probably one. It makes sense, and there is a bit more evidence for exchange like KuCoin, but obviously there are loads of different exchanges some that I'm not familiar with. So please do, leave your suggestions in the comments, and I'll have a look into those as well. And also, we did hear about a big announcement. Now there were unofficial sources saying it's going to be in April, but obviously Ecomi didn't say that, but they did say we would get some form of big announcement. So Dan did touch on that as well.
There's a big announcement apparently. When big announcement?
Yeah, that's the silly question I get. There are big announcements coming up.
Yeah.
We have a lot of very cool licensed and partner announcements coming up in the future. Also, I've alluded to in some of the other videos that we are that I've been on that we have also some very disruptive products entering into the VV platform. So in terms of those kind of announcements, please just stay tuned. Obviously, we were hoping that we would be able to announce some of these a little bit earlier than now, but we work with publicly listed companies. The NFT space is blowing up. There's more of a magnifying glass on it at the moment, and because of that, the licensors really just want to make sure that all their T's are crossed and I's dotted.
Okay, so there was something interesting that Dan said there. He said we have announcement in regards to licenses and partnerships. Now, we had the first partnership announcement, which was Roger and Cohen, which is rated by Forbes as the top PR company in the US, and they are managing marketing PR for Ecomi, which is going to really help propel them in terms of raising awareness to just the general public. And other partnerships, this is going to be quite interesting. I want to see which other partners they have, because if it's on the same scale, then Ecomi I see definitely becoming pretty much a household brand name. So a lot of exciting things to look forward to. And now, I did in a previous video, I had some random speculation about Ecomi being carbon neutral and McDonald's looking for alternatives to plastic kind of things to give away. And someone did actually ask that question as well. And so I just want to specify a little bit or clarify a little bit more on that as well with what Dan said.
No, I mean, we were in discussions with McDonald's very early on, but and I guess the opportunity would still be there to us. But at the end of the day, we're a premium digital collectible product. And, some of the brand, I mean, you guys know the brands, or some of you guys know the brands we have on, from DC Collectibles, Ghostbusters, Star Trek.
So Dan, he did confirm that early on they did actually have discussions with McDonald's. That is still there on the card if they ever need to. But again, that's like not really something that appears or sounds to be as part of their roadmap moving forward at the moment. But it is interesting to know that they did actually discuss this, because I speculated that it would make sense for them to approach McDonald's just because there would be some interesting business opportunities there. And one thing in terms of opportunities that OMI has done really, really well is capture the market of non-crypto investors, because we know, statistically, most crypto investors are men in age, between 25 and 40. But they did say something quite interesting, which really caught my attention in terms of the ratio of males to females using VV. So this is really interesting.
Now that you've got sort of collectibles, is that a female-based area?
Absolutely. I think our statistics are 45% female, 55%
wow.
Male, which, as you say, is really not that typical in the crypto world. But, with VV, it really is, I mean, even though it is blockchain powered and we use NFTs, I never really describe it as a blockchain product. What?
So, 45% female, 55% male. Now, those are really, really good statistics, nearly 50-50. And that shows that because the majority of kind of crypto enthusiasts out there are male, the fact that they've brought in so much of the female audience into their space. Remember that when you're buying gems, you're actually buying OMI. They have created a way for people who may not necessarily be into crypto initially to indirectly purchase crypto, specifically the OMI token. And I think that is great. They've captured a market that was previously untapped. So I think that is going to help OMI progress a lot faster than their competition and a lot faster than other cryptos out there. So I think that is definitely something that's worth looking into. And now this was a really, really interesting. We know that NFTs are generally a new asset, but there are there could be other new assets, and that in itself will create an entirely new market. And Dan did say something about working on a brand new asset, and this is something that I really want to share with you guys. So let's take a look at that.
For the industries that we are getting into, this new kind of digital asset is going to be coming out around mid-year. I'm super excited to, when we can announce what's coming. But really, one of the main things about Vivi, and I guess one of the differences, is that we really are a platform more than a specific use case.
So they have a brand new digital asset coming. So for those of you who maybe aren't sure, so we know NFTs are a new digital asset that was announced, and it's blowing up. So they have developed, and these guys, they were developing NFTs before people even knew what NFTs were, before it became mainstream. So they're working on another new digital asset now. If history is correct, then these guys are ahead of the curve again, and they've found something brand new that, in a couple of years from now will blow up. Then now is definitely the time to make sure you are following what they're doing. So I think that is going to be really interesting and really exciting to find out as well. And something else, so this is something that I had a friend of mine suggested, was pairing with physical items when you buy NFTs, and this is what they actually did have to say on that.
Well, here is that just sort of like a different business altogether, and is that in competition?
We are primarily digital right now, but I can tell you 100% that in the near future, we will be doing drops that are paired with a physical item.
So you heard it from Dan. In the future, we will be getting physical items with our drops. So if you get the collectible of, say, an Ultraman poster, maybe you get a physical poster with it as well, which I believe would be limited to one-to-one with the NFTs. Now, I don't know how that would work exactly. When you sell your NFT on the marketplace, I guess you get to keep the physical copy still, so maybe that might affect the price. I'm not sure how they're going to get it to work, but the fact that they are doing physical pairings, I think that is really great as well. So people who like the physical, collectibles, they have both when they purchase into these NFTs. And lastly, so which chain are they going to be partnering with? And I think what Dan told us here, he gave us some information. This is really good for speculating, but also helps give us a better idea of who they're going with. So this is what I wanted to also share.
Since then, the blockchain space has changed dramatically, and there are a lot of providers out there now who are very specifically focused on NFTs. And so the partner that we'll be aligning with will be one that very much has an NFT focus. The other biggest issue with GoChain for me is interoperability. That I really believe the future is interoperable.
So the partner in terms of exchange which they want to go for will be one that has a heavy focus on NFTs, and also they're looking for interoperability. Now, there are a few that come to mind. We know that Binance Smart Chain is one that is focusing heavily on NFTs. And we also did discuss in our previous video, the speculation, KuCoin as well, heavy focus on NFTs. So again, I'm just saying that those are options. I'm not saying that it will definitely 100% come to either of those, but those fit the profile. If you guys know of any others that fit the profile, then please do leave those in the comments below. It'll be really interesting to kind of see what our basket of potential exchanges looks like. So I'm going to share this link in the description below. Please do check it out. It is really good. Watch the whole thing. And lastly, I just wanted to wrap up with our price analysis. So if you go straight to the charts, so on the hourly chart, it has been following our prediction from yesterday. We are going to continue trading sideways, and like I said, this is just going to continue until we have any kind of major news, either bad news or good news. So I think we have found our region of support now at this kind of 0.6-ish area, and I think moving forward, this is good that we're establishing the support, because if you look at my previous videos, like old videos on XRP, NEO, the exact same thing was happening right before a big breakout. On the 4-hourly chart, exactly the same thing, just trading sideways for now in this range. And it's good that we are hitting multiple touches on this resistance, because that just shows that this level is tested and it's a good respected level. People will buy up here, and you don't get too much selling pressure around here either. When we retouch here, I think we will get some initial selling pressure around about the 0.7 cents region. And then depending on what we get in May, which exchanges we get listed on, then there we're going to retest our previous all-time high, I reckon. I did say previously, I think we will break the all-time high within May, potentially touch 2 cents. So definitely we should be keeping our eyes peeled to see what announcement come out. But that is pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. Like always, please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.